Hey, Miah, who's this episode sponsored by?
Amazon.com.
Why?
Well, because they have a very wonderful associates program where if you bookmark my link, it's on the website, and you do all of your Amazon.com shopping through my link that you've bookmarked, I get a small commission.
What are you going to use the money for?
A sweet set of boobs.
Oh, yeah. So check that out, creatingmiah.com, and then click on the Amazon link.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome to this episode of Creating Miah. We're just coming out of the holidays, so we've just had New Year's, we've had Christmas, not too long ago we had Thanksgiving. So how did it go? I mean, how did you present? Did you present as female at any of your family Christmases or Thanksgiving or anything?
No, I purposely volunteered to work all of those days. Because of that, I have... I guess what were we gonna call Emily? My partner, my secretary.
That's literally what he calls her. His partner. He calls his secretary. And if you call Maya's cell phone, you get Emily as the person on the other end.
Yeah, it's not a mean thing. Don't take it as like a chauvinistic thing. But I could have gone to her family. I could have done a lot of things. I could have gone out, and I decided not to. The most I went out was I went shopping. And who doesn't want to go shopping during holidays? But I still haven't presented to my in front of my parents. And I mean, I don't have a large family in the first place, but my parents know. They're very accepting, but I still haven't presented in front of them. I don't really know how to do that. And there's a number of long-term friends and people I see a lot that I haven't really presented around, and I'm not uncomfortable in public, but around these people I am. And it's not so much for me, it's for them. I don't want to freak them out. I don't want to, disgust them. I don't want to, it's kind of nerve-wracking. And so, and with this whole world of social media, all these people see me in a particular light on Facebook and this and that. Well, when I start meeting new people, and I haven't always presented in the past year or so when I've really been out there on the campaign trail or whatever, I'm very nervous about meeting some of these people, going from Jeremiah to Miah. It's kind of nerve-wracking, and it takes me forever to want to leave the house with things like that because I have no idea how they're going to see me. And so it's the same thing with like my parents. I'm scared to death of presenting in front of my parents. Not rationally, but it's there.
I can't believe you wore this dress over to my house. It's way too short.
That's why I'm wearing tights. You don't get it.
Yeah, I guess I forget what it was like in May, March, whenever you officially said something. And then it was sort of like, all right, I guess I don't really care, but that's going to be super awkward if Jeremiah starts wearing a dress and makeup. And like, I sort of cared more because of people who might come into the office and have a perception of the people we were working for. It wasn't really necessarily my own comfort, although I'll admit that there was a little bit of, I guess, nerves about that because you know a person for years as in one capacity and then they're saying they're a different capacity. So I guess there is some nerves there, and it's not that way now. I think Facebook has a lot to do with it. Facebook actually is great because in the comfort of your own home, you can adjust to a new reality. You see the photos that Emily takes of you and puts up, and you almost grow accustomed. I mean, when I'm talking to people about Miah, I don't even say Jeremiah anymore. We all say Miah now, and it's because that is the person that we talk to on Facebook all the time. And when we say Jeremiah or someone says Jeremiah, we all say, you mean Miah? Like, we don't even remember Jeremiah. I think Facebook actually helps a lot because it adjusts people to that reality. And they either dislike it or they grow accustomed to it and grow acceptance to it, and just move on past this one aspect and just say, well, okay, Miah looks different, but she is still the same gun-wielding libertarian nutcase I've always known and loved.
Yeah, well, I've kind of seen that and I've kind of witnessed that, and it's kind of one of those things. That's why I'm kind of getting out here, and I want to encourage everyone else to at least get out somewhat, come out, be public. I mean, you don't have to go out in public. I mean, that's a whole nother story in and of itself. But get out there and tell somebody, let somebody know. I mean, just bottling all this stuff up isn't good. And like you were saying, is that, on Facebook, you create you create your actual persona, you create who you are. And it's just day in and day out, these people see you that wouldn't necessarily see you every day, and they just get comfortable with it, or they go away. But they're comfortable with it. They know it. I mean, I remember being on the campaign trail, and people would go. They'd ask you, it's like, where's this Miah at? I want to meet Miah. And then I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm in a black button-up shirt, black slacks, and these nice male shoes, completely, all male. And, you introduced me, and it's like, that's somewhat awkward, but okay. They kind of get it. And I don't necessarily like to, but I do. I always inform new people that I am trans. There was a guy that does a local radio show, and he wanted a female perspective on the show, and he really wanted me to come on. And I'm like, I gotta just make sure, in case you don't know, I'm transgender. And he's like, I had no idea, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really okay with that, but I'd still love to have you on the show anyways. And he's like, we'd love to have you on and learn more about that. And I was like, awesome. Except the show's at the start when I work on the weekend, so I can't go on the show. But so it's.
And for the record, he was okay with it. I remember reading the post and laughing my ass off. And it is funny, and I think that's incredibly powerful. And anybody who isn't out, I know this is a big step, and it probably should not come from the non-trans guy. Making it Facebook official was so beneficial for you. And you could see the change and the change in mood almost instantly. It was, I guess, that feeling in high school or middle school when the little red-haired girl that you are in love with says, I think I like him too. That feeling of that flutter inside of you, that's what you had. You had that joy that you only get when your long-lost love comes back to you or something like that, if that makes sense. Making it Facebook official was probably the best thing that could ever have happened to you, because you changed overnight.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why that's the one day I remember. I mean, that's March 16th of 2012, and it was, like I've said before, I didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. I did. I was in a very horrible place, and yeah, my mood changed instantly, and it was the biggest step I've ever made, and it was worth every ounce of any kind of stress or nervousness or question that came afterwards. I think it's the number one step everyone should make. I see a lot of people in the community that are kind of transitioning. They still haven't told people or this or that. They're still hiding it. I don't think that's healthy. I mean, there's different circumstances here and there and this and that, but hiding it and bottling up and not, you're living two lives again, and that's just not healthy. It's coming out, especially with things like social media and Facebook and things like that. It's super easy, but it's just as effective.
And you kind of did it in stages. You made it Facebook official, and there was one time where you buzzed into the campaign headquarters with a wig and some really bad makeup on, and then you left really quickly. And I don't know if it was nerves or what, but I don't think I saw you present as female till almost 6 months after you made it Facebook official. And it's not been until recently that you've really started to dive in. You've been going to treatments, you're on hormones, you're getting the laser treatment. It's sort of picked up in some of the stuff that you've done physically. You've done it in stages, and I think that's kind of helped too, is that it's not an overwhelming amount of change at one time.
Right, and it's, I was very careful of how I presented, because I'm very self-conscious about how I look, and it's not just because, I'm not female enough or whatever, passable.
Right, it's because you're really ugly.
Yes, because I am atrociously ugly.
Face like a giant foot, people. Face for radio.
No one's ever told me I was attractive until I started posting the before and after pictures, and everyone said I looked great as a guy. I mean, fucking assholes, man.
You were so much hotter a year ago.
Yeah. But taking it slowly and going in steps and just kind of pushing my own personal boundaries here and there has just been, because I've always been a person that, hey, look, a pool, let's just jump in. I don't know, have a clue what temperature it is or what's in it. Let's just jump into it. I've never really been good at steps or planning or anything like that, and that was kind of one of the great things about, breaking down my whole anarchy, mantra and going to a therapist, the gatekeepers, as they call them in the community, and going to a therapist, and it forced me to slow down a little bit, and that was, I gave up some control. I gave up control of my identity just partially, and that was a huge step, but that was a very important step, and it's had lasting effects that have been very positive and healthy.
Yeah, we told you early on, Evan was incredibly important through this whole thing, and he told you early on, do not just get Canadian hormones and self-medicate and do all this shit. Go to a therapist. Do it right. There's a reason that there are processes in place. It's not that they're gatekeepers. It's that this is the time-tested way that this sets you up for a healthier life afterwards. Oh, I'm not doing that. Fuck that. You guys don't know what you're talking about. There's society, a false construct of society, and it's all bullshit. Like this, again, it's the bullheaded, angry, you're such a male. Like, once you quit all the self-medicating and you went to the therapist and you got on a program and you started talking to people, I've noticed the stability and the happiness almost immediately. Like, it was really, really positive. And I can tell just from the 30 minutes a week that we spend with each other and then the time that we spend talking online, I can notice the stability and the happiness. I can't imagine how great Emily feels about all of it.
Oh, I'm sure she's so happy. It's not even funny. I get home or she gets home and she's just beaming. It's been nice to see that in somebody else. And I feel bad for being the way I was. And,
it's okay, man.
Yeah. Man, dude.
Dick.
But I'd like to definitely say one thing is Evan McMahon, his handle online's Bad Evan. He has been a huge part of this, and I just want to say thank you and let the whole world, everyone that listens to this, know that Evan McMahon is just a great person, and thank you so much for really helping me start down this whole idea of transition. I mean, the first night we met, that was a topic we talked about, and it's been amazing to have you around and have you and Chris here kind of be there for me and be good friends and be understanding and, try to understand this better. And that's, if you can find that one person you can talk to that's caring, that doesn't want to force their views on you. I mean, that's just amazing. But I've got 3 or 4 of them. So I'm blessed.
That's really important too, is you've got to have friends that you can rely on, that you can count on. And I sometimes you'll hear people say, I have nobody, I have no friends. I just don't think that's true. I think they just don't see them around. I mean, when I remember being really offended probably about 6 months before you came out, when you said online, I said, yeah, Jeremiah, you're my friend. Aw, you're not my friend. I don't even know if I'd go to your funeral. I'm like, all right, well, screw you, man. And, but I don't know. I think just take a second look of the people that are around in your life, even, heck, if they're just coworkers. I mean, sometimes the people that are just sort of almost between friends and acquaintances, those people can be probably more helpful than people you've known forever who have to get over the baggage almost.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that, and that's kind of what, we've gone through on the campaign and everything since we've known each other, is that, there's these people that you really like, that you could be really good friends with, that click with your true self really well, but you push them away, and sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it. You push good people away, or you gravitate towards just shitty people, And it's because you don't want to let yourself, because you're afraid you'll slip. You're afraid you'll get comfortable and you'll open yourself up to them, and you're afraid of the rejection or whatever little, reason your mind, comes up with. But it's all bullshit. I mean, like you said, it's hard to believe that nobody has anybody. And there's somebody out there. You just got to take the second look and then be honest and take a real look at these people and think of how, they're probably nice to you. They're probably nicer to you than anybody else, but you probably treat them like shit. Well, just stop it. Make some friends. Be open and be honest.
Yeah, I don't think you would have probably thought that I would be a person that would be supportive, that would build you websites, host a podcast with you. I mean, I'm a pretty hardcore evangelical Christian, even though I said shit earlier in the podcast. I don't think you would have said, this guy is going to be building me websites about my transition, even at the beginning when you first came out, but we're friends, and it doesn't matter. I want to understand what you're going through better. I want to help you. I want to help other people understand what you're going through. My wife is enthralled with your website and the podcasts. Like, there's a pile of clothes over there that she doesn't fit into anymore that she wants you to take with you. Like, she went from not understanding, not getting it, thinking it was kind of weird, to reading 4 blog posts, listening to 2 podcasts, and now she's giving you clothes. I want people out there who are in the position that you were in 9 months ago to feel like you feel now. And that's one of the reasons that, like, I looked at your blog and I said, first of all, no one should have a blog spot. Second of all, if we're going to do this, let's do this right, and let's help people by explaining what's happening. Because when I look at the person who was just about to come out and make it Facebook official, the person who just made it Facebook official, like the week after you made it Facebook official, you had a fucking Britney Spears-like meltdown. It was intense, and it was because of the pressure. Because you don't hear all the people who are loving and accepting. You hear the 4 or 5 people who are just rude and who are being dicks to you. You don't hear the 100 people who are behind you. You hear the 2 that aren't. And, you need people. You need that support system, people like Evan around you to lean on and tell you that it's going to be okay. And that's part of what this podcast and the website is about, is so people who are not Facebook official can hear that 9 months later it's going to be better.
Britney Spears-like meltdown is a good way to put it. And it was, I blocked out all the positive everything. All I saw was the hate, the anger, the insults, the disgust. And it was, until I let that go, until I did listen to all the strong, good voices around me, it took a while, but until I did that, it was just the end of the world. It was like, holy shit, what did I just do to myself? But, I overcame it, and I unblinded myself to all the good people around me, and that's what it took to really get this thing going.
You even shaved your head.
Yeah, I've used the whole shaving head thing as a way to just go, I hate everything, I'm shaving my head. And I did. I shaved my head completely.
I was just like, you just said you want to become a woman, and you shaved off about 9 inches of hair. What the hell's wrong with you, crazy person?
I'm a crazy person.
Yeah, but you made it through, and like, what are some of the other lessons that you learned through that experience of making it Facebook official?
Honesty. I mean, self-honesty, and then honesty with the public, is that just being honest about everything you do, it doesn't hurt. Sometimes it gets shitty, sometimes it doesn't necessarily pay off, or it looks like it's harmed you, but it doesn't. It's, the more I'm honest about myself, who I am, and the people around me, just the closer we grow, the better I feel, the happier I am. It's, being out there and then not being afraid of the public, because I've always been not necessarily shy, but I've been shy. I've been kind of, what's the word here?
Guarded.
Very guarded. And, I'd make these little personas and stuff, but ever since then, I'm driven. I mean, coming out's helped with my job, with sales, with talking with customers, with being confident at my job. It's just, the overall confidence has just been just all inspiring. I've inspired myself just because it's so different. And so it's there's a lot of lessons that have been learned. Not all of them are seen, not all of them are noticed just yet. I'm figuring out new things every day when I do little things here or there, or when I don't do things, and it's a constant evolution.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to say to the listening audience?
Thank you so much, everybody, for listening, reading, watching, commenting. I mean, I'm still looking at the Google Analytics, looking at the numbers, and just my jaw drops. I don't even know what to say. That it's awesome. I'd like feedback from everybody. If you have questions, if anything else, I just if you want to know more about something, you want me to talk about something, just send us a comment, email, something. Just thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Definitely don't forget to bookmark that Amazon link, and just thanks for listening.
Yeah, if you want to get in touch with Miah, it's Miah at creatingmiah.com. There's also social profiles, so you can become Facebook friends, Google Plus friends, Twitter follower, all that good stuff. A lot of ways to get in touch. There's been, for a personal blog, a lot of traffic. I mean, it's been weird. And I sort of feel like it's been a little tough. I mean, has it been tough on some levels, or have you had oh shit moments like, oh my god, there's a lot of people seeing me right now, I need an adult?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I did this, was like, no one's really going to see this. It's going to be my Facebook friends, ha ha ha, a couple, maybe 100 views a month on something. And I'm wanting to take down everything. I wanted to just shut up and go crawl into a hole somewhere. I mean, it's definitely been insane, but I think between talking to you and some other people that have seen it, that are close to me, are going like, we love what you're doing, just keep doing it. They have pointers and tips and things like that, and that's wonderful. I mean, having you and Evan that know this media, social world, and all this stuff is just, oh my God, that's amazing. But it's been seeing those numbers that first night that we showed up on Reddit, and I saw the numbers the next day. I was pulling my hair out. I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? So now I'm questioning everything, and I'm like, I don't even want to write anything. I just want to have like a ghostwriter and just, oh my God.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks, everybody. We appreciate it. And this has been another episode of Creating Miah. This podcast is produced by What is a Hoosier Productions.